welcome to Literary Corner, coming to you from Voice of Nigeria. On Literary Corner, we bring in Nigerian writers who are making the marks in the world of literature to come talk to us about their books and their stories. And here in the studio, I have with me a young star from the North. I'm going to follow the story of the star who has many stories in a bit. My name is Glory Ohagwu. Do stay tuned. Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, a lot of them going on. John Pepper Clark, Bekederemo, lots of Nigerian writers, but the world will definitely know Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, and of course Chinua Achebe, the one whom everybody would know from all around the world. But you have joined the list, and you're from the north. So we have the west, the east, and now making a stop over in the north. So let's get to meet you.
Hello, my name is Yaseer Abdullahi, and I am from Kaduna. I mostly grew up in Abuja though. And the names you've called, I've been a science student all my life, so I've not really read much from that time. So I happen to just find this part of myself.
You are an accidental writer.
Yes, that's the perfect title. Accidental writer. That's it.
Yes, here, so nice to have you here. Now tell us about Yaseer growing up, a scientist who has become a writer.
Okay, I'll go back. I'll go way back to when I thought I was going to be a scientist. So I've always been a consumer of movies and cartoons ever since. I just love to consume. I like to write it my whole day. Basically a couch potato, I think that's the polite word for this. So I would sit that the entire day, watch this and watch that, and I'd subconsciously absorb without knowing to the extent that if I have my toys to play with, I would turn them. So I didn't have much action figures at the time. So with the little I had, I'll still have like paper, I'll cut paper from characters and have them do things. And then I'll turn my whole living room rug into like a scene. I'll have a police chasing this guy. He stops and I do another voice. He's coming, don't go, go. But that's how I used to do it before. So this is from my mom's story. I don't remember any of this, but I can visualize from how she told it. So eventually, that was still when I was in Kaduna. Eventually, I grew up and then we moved to Abuja. So in Abuja, I didn't do much of the writing because we moved to a new place. So it was mostly just having fun playing ball with the kids and never having time to what I really wanted to do. Then came junior school where we'll be forced to pick either letter writing or composition to write a story to complete the story. So I always found myself doing the stories. I never knew why. I just wanted to like, "Yeah, this title is nice. I want to see how this ends today." So but then I later found out if you want to pass the exams, do letter. There are many marks to get. There are many marks to get from the address and everything. So yeah, but I always do my stories. I had one exam even that I was right. I forgot I was in an exam hall. I kept on going. So 10 minutes later, I said, "Oh no!" So I had to cut it short and continue. But then off aside from school stuff, I would have like handwritten stories. I would do. I still remember one that I wouldn't say now because it's not.
Have you written love letters to girls?
I have written definitely since even junior school, but like not to deliver, mostly to memorize what to say but never say them. Yes.
Let's now talk about Yaseer and education. Tell us the schools you attended and what you got from them.
Okay, so I'll start with my primary school. Oh, nursery school. Let me give them their props. So nursery 1 and 2, Jamil Mata Arewa in Kaduna. I started there. I have no memory. The only memory I have is when I chased my mom to go buy cake for my birthday, and then it was an airplane. I liked airplanes then, so I got that's the only memory I have there. We now moved to a school called Ladela in Kaduna still. So that was when we had a project for cooking one time there. I remember that a bit. Then we moved to Abuja finally, and then Abuja. I think Abuja. I told you, like I said before, it was mostly sports. So I became sporty mostly because I was getting
So
more.
which schools did you attend in Abuja?
Nuru Bayan. That was the first one, Nuru Bayan. Then in primary 4, I moved to NTIC. Then Nigerian Integration, and now Nigerian Tulip. So I was there for JS for primary 5 to JS 3. Then that was when my parents kidnapped me. They didn't ask me if I wanted to do this, and it took me to a boarding school called British Nigerian Academy. So I was in a boarding school from SS1 to SS3. Something I thought I wouldn't like, but then I enjoyed because that was where I was locked up and had time to do my writing. and I even made more colleagues there that loved to write, and it was a splendid time. I loved my time there. Then why I came, finished it, and then I went to Malaysia for studies. I studied mechanical engineering. As you can see, my story is still going. I'm going nowhere near literature. Still.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I studied mechanical engineering, and then even in school, I'll still be distracted in uni because these ideas come to you on their own. They don't care what you're doing. So sometimes I just put the notes that I'm actually seeing is here.
So which school did you attend in Malaysia?
Swinburne University of Technology.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Where you earned a degree in mechanical engineering. Now, since you are dovetailing to inspiration, let's now know how these characters and how these inspirations do come at you and consume you.
So for my first published book, so my dream, I had a dream because I began to realize that actually we get ideas from our dreams, but some of us just disregard them and carry on with your day. So I began to get a journaling habit from my dream. So there was a Christmas, 2014, 15. I was ill, so I was hospitalized. So in that whole scenario, I had a dream, and then this first one, I had a dream about the entire plot. So like, what is this? I need to write this down. So I wrote it down haphazardly in the hospital. When I came out of the hospital, I was like, this has to be a story to tell. So yeah, I just made a story out of it. And then I began to realize if you think about something so much, it stays with you. If you're sleeping, eating, this idea just hits you and you have to like write it down, else it goes. I know Stephen King says that good ideas go away. I don't believe that. Good ideas don't go away. I don't believe that. Some people have a very short attention span. Like me, that's my biggest weakness. I forget things easily, so I need to write them down to remember. So his rule
does not fit into your own craft.
It doesn't, and then that's what helps me. My independence. I don't follow what is normal for others. What is normal for me is what I follow, and I think that's what kills many writers. They want to be like other writers. They forget that there's a writing style for each writer. They forget that.
Now, as a child growing up, did your parents gift you with books? I'm trying to see what has tailored your writing side of your life. Did they buy you books, things that would make you say, okay, that's a police car. Police is coming, run, 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 run. I want to know because I read Enid Blyton. I read The Famous Five. I read a lot. So what?
Okay, yes, Enid Blyton. We read that too, definitely. They used to buy me a lot of books. I remember the Red Handkerchief. I remember that was very well. It was a blue book. I loved that book so much. I used to read that. And I would just read dictionary every day of my life. It seemed like a new word. Okay, so I used to do that. I used to read anything that had pages. I would read. That was me. If you don't buy it for me, I would take it. And my grandfather too, from my mom's side, he used to always have us read newspapers. So whenever when Manchester United was a good team, when we used to,
Manchester United fans would not like that.
I'm a United fan. I'm a United. When we were a great team, he said us that and read a lot. So he'll make us read back to him, and then it just developed more of our reading skills from when we were much younger. And it wasn't more of a passion; it was something that was like forced into you that became part of it. And then also my grandpa from my dad's side used to be in the movies, like the movie industry. So like I think it's a
so you have some artistic genes which are quite repressed inside of you.
Yeah.
Let's now talk about your books. Tell us, how many books do you have?
2 published, 3 completed, and then 2 short stories. Yeah, so that's about it. So should I give you the title?
Yes, please.
So the first one is called Knit. It's meant to be a trilogy, but I finished just 2 books. The third one seems like it's going to be a long time to write. So
the characters are still being birthed.
No. I know what's gonna happen. Like, so when I always plot when I'm writing, so I know how everything's gonna end before I start, so I can give it more flesh before I go to the end. That's my style. So I know how it's gonna end, but I just know that book is gonna be big, and I don't want to start it. I know because the characters is meant to wrap up the whole thing I've set up from book 1 and 2, and it's going to be a lot. So the whole title of the Knit idea is because it starts with a family that is split. So eventually they're going to come back together. So they knit back together.
So they need to knit themselves.
Yeah. So that's eventually that's the final. But it's a fantasy story. A guy can travel through dreams. He can if you think it, you can will it.
That means you are a fiction writer.
I love fiction.
Yes. It all happens in your head and then it comes to life.
I love all things unrealistic.
You love all things unrealistic.
Yes.
Thankfully, you're realistic.
Yeah.
We see you, you're not a ghost.
Yes.
Now, which of the books are you going to read to us from?
Okay, so the one I would have loved to read the first one, but the new one that's meant to come out now. I want to keep it for later, so I'll keep you in suspense. Because that's my first thriller book, and I
Okay.
loved it. My mom said so. My mom doesn't like this kind of thing. She's like, this one, this is it. This one is the one. She doesn't like this one. I'm about to read to you now. She says it's too scary. Has too much horror stuff going on there.
So your mother is your first consumer.
She's my biggest fan, and I'm her biggest fan too.
Okay, that's so good. Let's now take a reading.
Okay.
Title of the book?
Knit book one is called The Milk Connoisseur. It's not what it means. The whole point of the word is misinterpreted in the story. So I'll start. Diana will show you where to put them. A man with perfectly cut sideburns told the crowd. Right now, I have something to take care of upstairs. There is no need to wait for me. I'll find my way. Now take them quickly before they recover. The people turned and exited the house in turns, and then the man singled one of them out. Chisom, he said, you will be coming with me. A short man stepped out of the crowd and followed their leader upstairs. I called you to witness the abilities to expect after you and your crew have taken care of the other readers. The leader named Figo said, I am going to take the boy's memories. He shan't remember anybody he knows unless he meets them, which isn't likely since we have most of them. But why go through so much when you can do whatever you want to do now? Chisom asked. If he realizes he's grown up alone, then I can tell him I am someone close to him or something similar. I can't explain it. It's just the best way I can use him without causing an injury.
Stop. Don't tell them much more. They need to buy the book.
Yes,
It's very important to buy the book.
Yes, it is.
I see you employ some literary devices there. Would you? And then you're an accidental writer. So I'm wondering, why a trip into the future through the present and yet recalling the past? Why are you employing all this?
I have this notion about things you're good at. If you're good at something, don't just be good at it. Try to monetize it as well, because you will see other people excelling in that thing that you're good at. Why can't you do what they're doing as well? So many people will tell you to write as a hobby because in Nigeria, firstly, you're not going to make much money because you need to know the right strings to pull, which I believe because the world has become a much more visual world now. So the way, if you notice the thing I write to you, I write more in the style of a script writer.
Script for a movie.
Yes, that's my style of writing. Actually, I realized that much later than you see some writers who waste a whole page telling you, oh, the sun came out. I don't like this over explaining. I don't like it. So I just go straight to the point. That's how I do. I don't know all these terms, all these English terms that we learned, all these pronouns, verbs. I don't know
Irony,
them. Like,
sarcasm.
yes, I just happen to know how to use them. I don't really know them as they
So
are.
you don't set out to use them.
No, I just.
But if they just play out in the course of writing, then good luck to them.
Yes. And sometimes like I would use a word and I would laugh because I'd be like, I know I learned this for like 3 years ago and I never used it, but today it's time to use it. So I have this kind of moments when I'm writing as well.
Do you read other people? Now, I know you read others growing up as a child, but now you're a grown young man. Do you still read others or you are keeping your business to your business?
So I used to think I don't read as much, but I actually do because if I meet you now and you're reading something, I want to actually read that thing. I want to see why are you reading it? Because a friend of mine, she was reading a very boring book. I know you can hear me; it's boring. So she said that she said she went to a whole convention to buy the book. I assume it's amazing. So I said, yes, let me read it too. It's the content for that the audience that the writer was writing is. I'm not the audience. It's just weird. I don't like it.
Okay.
So I try to read, but then I watch more than I read. That's why my style is more towards the visuals.
Yeah.
So the way I describe things is much more like different. Because I've dabbled into poetry, but they're a bit dark. Because I feel like happy poems are not realistic, as I said. Yeah, happiness, yes.
Do you think happiness is something people shouldn't have?
No, it's something that's normal.
So why would you want to make it dark?
Because that's what makes you realize that, oh, you've been feeling that way too before, but you've been ignoring it. That's why I like the dark ones. Because that's what you truly feel, but you don't want to accept it.
Now, where do you see your writing career in the next 5 years? Let's not take a decade. Let's talk 5 years.
5 years, I'm trying to change how the narrative in Arewa is in terms of writing. Because firstly, I have more command in English writing than in Hausa, so I would definitely try my best to translate them to have more things on in cinema on screen in Hausa. I want to see thriller stuff, my stuff thriller wise, horror wise in Hausa, because you see the common thing we see today.
It's
Generally,
host.
you see marriage, stepwife, all these basic things. They're not so special anymore. Maybe they were special like 20 years ago, but no one cares anymore. I don't care. If I watch it and I see that I quit, I don't want to watch it anymore. And I believe there are 10 million people that think like me too. Because we want to see new, fresh ideas. Even Hollywood has the whole reboot culture. They're just making money, but they know no one cares. No one wants things that they've been used to before. People like new things in terms of entertainment. I want to feel different about what I'm reading or watching. Make me feel like this is a new experience, not the same thing again and again and again.
Let's take another reading from another book. I don't want this book. I want another book.
Okay, I'll go from to the unedited one.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't mind. So we get to have a taste
So
of what is cooking. Yaseer's cooking.
so I'll just scroll randomly and then go to a random page and read. So
So this would be from the upcoming book
yes,
titled
the number you're calling.
The Number You're Calling Might Be Available or Unavailable. Yaseer, take it away.
Okay. So hello, hello. Anita said nervously, going against her mother's phone call rules. Even after speaking first, she still got no response. Enraged, she hung up and threw the phone back onto her bed. She picked up her pen and put down how her day went with how she hoped to build a better relationship with others in her diary. She later placed the diary atop the pile of books and jumped back into her bed. She turned the light switch knob beside her bed slowly until her room dimmed out completely. While she lay in bed partially covered by her duvet, asking herself why she was concerned about the mystery color still. She found it mind boggling and simply could not resist the idea of meeting a complete stranger. If only she cared so much about meeting people in school the way she did about the color. Amidst her thought bubble in her dark room, her phone screen lit up, followed by her ringtone. It was the mystery caller again. Hello.
Don't tell me. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Mystery caller. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. So if people want to get your books,
Yes.
your published works, where do they look?
So currently oh, I totally forgot to actually tell you that I have a platform for education people. So
Okay.
yes,
Tell
it's
me about that.
okay. So initially we were meant to be a book marketplace, just like how Okada books are. So we have people that we will groom as writers and then have them sell on our platform, and then we have a society and community for writers because it was hard to get published and it's too expensive. So we can digitally do that, and also we can find cheaper ways to do them for you for the print. So that's where it was meant to be before, but then the users we did not expect to have overloaded our servers and everything crashed.
Oh
So we're
my.
starting right. It's a good thing. It's a
No,
good
I
and
mean,
bad
I
thing.
mean, having it crash because there are people who are expectant. Because you won't believe, I have been reading one novel for 4 years now online.
Oh,
Every day,
wow,
every day I go there to read,
wow,
and it's just 4 short chapters every day, page, 4 pages
wow,
for 4 years.
wow.
So you understand. So you can imagine those who consume from your platform discovering, I'm thinking, what if that server crashes now? I wouldn't be happy.
Yes, that is true. But then, why the failure is good, as I said, is because it has prepared us to understand that we have to overestimate and not underestimate. So now, if we were to go again, we would have space for, if we're expecting 200 people, we expect 5,000 people, and we have space for those people. So that's the direction we're hoping to go to now. But because of that situation, we realized, why are we sticking to just writers? There's so many other creatives around the country. Let's go for all of them, and let's go for them when they're much younger. Because we have done two writing contests. Yes, two writing contests over the years, and 14-year-olds, very amazing kids who come. We interviewed some the last time too. You could hear nice ideas they had because we gave them story prompts and then make them give us a story from the book. It was a very amazing experience. So from there, we now realized, okay, let's go back to kids fully, help them and guide them towards a path where they can decide what they want to be in the future. Many kids today are stifled, and then they're not allowed to express themselves because of the whole you must obey the adults in the room. So you go to school now, the kid is told, do this or else I give you F9 and you fail. So now the kid is led by fear, and fear breeds hatred actually. So now the kid wants to go to school by fire by force to learn all of that. And the creativity is suppressed completely because they need to obey what the teacher is saying. They now go to JS3, the kid, the parents, they're asking, so what do you want to be in the future? They all don't know. So they have to go and ask the teacher, please, what is my kid good at? Can you help me, guys? So where we come in now is from the kid, from when they're in primary school or preschool, we'll have them, we'll be comparing activity, we'll be teaching them on our own with their school performances. And once we align them together, we pinpoint where the strong where the strength is and the weaknesses are. When I give the parent, okay, your kid is good at science, and these are the options that we think they're good at. Because if you give them Legos and puzzles, they actually do structures the right way. So make sure you do that, or else you end up spending like a lot of school fees for kids that want to change their courses in university when they're tired of studying the particular
Like
course.
accidental writers who came in from engineering rather than starting from being writers ab initio. So you don't want another accidental writer, because this other writer would know the rudiments of writing and know if they really want to write the dark side or they just want to write flowery words.
I agree, yes, 100%.
So we were talking about where to get your books.
Well, yeah, so for the books now, the ones that our site crashed, I have them on Okada Books, just the ebooks on Okada Books, and they're on Amazon as well. I have them on Amazon. I have them on you know what? If you just search for the name, amazingly you find them in different websites that you think you want to buy from. They're in most book platforms online. Yeah, I have them on Goodreads as well with the links that I can attach you there. And then for this new one now, I'm trying to have them printed here so that I can have them physically in bookstores. And also I have physical copies with me that I move around with. But today I didn't come with any.
No problem.
Yes,
It's all good.
But normally it's always in the car, because you never know who you'd meet and you know how the conversation would go. I have a book. Sometimes I even give them out for free because I feel like I need to get a perception and a perspective from people when they get free books. Some people, they actually are eager to, okay, since they didn't spend money, they want to tell you how it felt like. I want to hear experience. I don't want to hear how you read it. I want to hear what you felt about the book when you were reading it.
Thank you very much, Yaseer. You've told us so much stories, and we can't wait to see how you change the Arewa writing narrative in the next decade, because obviously you are the future. Now, it was George Orwell whose famous writing was Animal Farm, who said, and I quote, "When I sit down to write a book, I do not say to myself, I'm going to produce a work of art. I write it because there is some lie that I want to expose, some facts to which I want to draw attention, and my initial concern is to get a hearing." End of quote. I think that's what you're going to do, because you're not a regular writer, you're an accidental writer who is set to make a difference. Thank you once again, Yaseer Mohammed, for being a guest on this edition of Literary Corner.
Thank you so much.
Comfort